biblical history, the spirit of Bacchus and the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWACHAA, QADASH, the amongst my elders at Great Millstone who rule well, singing honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children, do consist of the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the 4 corners of the earth. Shalom. What I'm going to do, I'm going to correlate the Burning Man, which is like a festival of debauchery, with the spirit of Bacchus, which is also in the scriptures. Now, I'm going to get right into it. The Latinized form and the authorized King James Version at 2 Maccabees 6 and 7 and 2 Maccabees, the 14th chapter, the 33rd verse. We're talking about the Apocrypha, which is a part of the 1611 King James Version Bible. So this is secular history outside of the Bible, okay? Of the heathen deity. So this is a heathen idol, okay? Called by the Greeks Dionysus. And remember, who took us down? It was the Greco-Roman Empire going back to Alexander the Greek with his 4 generals. That's also spoken of in Daniel the 7th or Daniel the 8th chapter. Okay? The latter occurs also in the so-called 2 Maccabees 2 and 29. In all these instances, the mythic deity is named in connection with circumstances which would indicate that he was an object of special abhorrence to the Jews. Abhor means to what? To disdain, to stay away from something. Like us abstaining from eating pork, right? From someone who's severely sick with a communicable disease, that's coughing and sneezing, you will abhor them, stay away from them to not get sick. That's how we felt with this deity and with these customs they were doing. Hence, how we became Gentiles, forgetting who we were as a people because it was forced upon us, which is a curse of the Israelites. But let me get back to it. I'm going to correlate Bacchus with the spirit of the Burning Man as well. For in the first, it stated that the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, okay? In the second, the erection of a temple to him is threatened in order to compel the priest to deliver up Judas to Nakar. So this goes back to those passages, 2 Maccabees 6 and 7, 2 Maccabees 14:32, hold on, wait a minute. Nah, that must be a misprint, can't be 3. But anyways, let's get back to it. So it says, this falls in with the Catechist says that it was a mistake to imagine that because the priests of the Jews accompanied their singing with flute and cymbals, and they had garlands of ivy, and a gold vine was found in the temple, they worshiped Bacchus. For that, this was not at all in accordance with their institutes. So what does that mean? It was forced upon us. So yes, you may have seen us dance. That's crazy. They forced us to dance unto their idol, unto their God. What happened in 12 years a slave? Didn't that slave master used to wake us up in the middle of the night to dance for him? Come on, y'all. Can't tell me it's not the same people. I'm going to get to the point so we can get back to it. As Bacchus was the god of wine, and in general of earthly festivities and jollity, and as his right sanctioned the most frantic excesses of revelry and tumultuous excitement, he would necessarily be an object of abhorrence, something that you really, really do dislike, to all who believed in and worship, I'm going to read it verbatim, Jehovah, which the name is YAHAWAH. Not Jehovah, is YAHAWAH. So the reason why I brought this up, because it was forced upon us to worship Bacchus, right? And I'm going to prove that in my notes. Now this is 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews, Israelites, were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. So we were forced into that. Hence, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 through 2. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So that is another cut to modern day Christians when they talk about the Gentiles being grafted in. The Gentiles were Israelite foreigners. Hence, we were forced to worship Bacchus and Jupiter and Zeus and all the other deities, which is why in Acts, when it speaks about how they wrote that this was to the unknown God, Paul said he come to reveal whom that unknown God was. Why? Because we was compelled to worship the idols of the Greeks, also known as the Herodians, who will also be known as Edomites in the Bible. Okay, so anyhow, let's get back. So pretty much Bacchus is like the god of reveling. Remember it said the word reveling? So Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. I'm just YouTube, I'm just reading the title. Burning Man Festival, soaked by monsoon downpours, leaves tens of thousands stranded. Going back to my notes. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. This is a proverb. Which spiritually, that's how you know it's a proverb, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. The Lord was a crucified Sodom and Egypt. It's talking about here in America. America spiritually Sodom and Egypt. How's it spiritually Sodom and Egypt? Egypt was the first place of our captivity, all right? And in addition, look on the back of the dollar bill. Pyramid, obelisk down there in Washington, D.C., the Washington Monument, right? And how is it Sodom and Gomorrah? The first state to legalize same-sex marriage was Massachusetts. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Massachusetts. And their slogan, like I'm in Florida, which is the Sunshine State, theirs is called the Spirit of America. Coincidence why this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt? But anyhow, let's get to this article to correlate it with Bacchus and how that turned us into being Israelite foreigners. I want to get straight to the point, but I do have to make my decision. Now remember, there's over 70,000 people here. Now listen to this, y'all. And I will leave this article in the description box. And this year, which is based on the theme of Animalia, is no different, with a plethora of bizarre activities on the events list. The Free Spirited Festival, i.e., just think about it as a big ORGY, has a reputation of having a, quote, erotically charged, unquote, atmosphere. So it's no surprise many of this year's events are sexual. That's what it's always been. Reveling, rioting. Remember, the word reveling is in here. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. To start off their day, men can head to the, quote, morning has come, so you can circle your, unquote. I'm just reading the article. Y'all need to pay attention. It just said men, right? Event where you can join other naked guys to, quote, stroke your morning wood, unquote, together. Men, just men. I'm just reading verbatim. There's something for the ladies too, with body washes and, quote, happy ending, unquote, massages and offer every day. This is where they go out there in the vast, out there in the, this is in the Nevada, I'm sorry, y'all, the Nevada desert. They say a monsoon come through, so there's over 70,000 people who are out there with their own camping gear, their own food, own water, and just out there just doing all kind of crazy things, but the Lord had brought a monsoon through. But this is pretty much the spirit of Bacchus, what they're out here doing. Listen to what they're doing, y'all. I'm reading it. I said it's in the article. You can read it yourself. Revelers. Remember what I read in the secular history part? The revelings and the riotings. Revelers can head over to the naughty naked village to receive their daily whipping. Dominatrix sound like. Where they'll get their, quote, spanking from, unquote, the resident Domina priestess. Noctus Dominus. Come on, y'all. Come on. The famous ORGY Dome is holding regular talks on consent while offering a place for, quote, couples and moresomes, it sound like an ORGY, unquote, to have some fun together, i.e., where you get something known as cuckage or a cuckold. This is crazy. For something even more out there, hypnotherapist David Mears is also conducting group orgasm. I gotta use certain words, y'all. Hypnosis sessions on the playa every day. That's what they call the grounding where they're having this the Bacchus festivities. Now, closing out, but going back. Once again, this is biblical history. The spirit of Bacchus and the Gentiles who are Israelite foreigners. Remember, we were compelled to worship Bacchus like we were compelled to worship the other idols and to carry on the customs of the heathens. Hence, we were called Hellenists, who were Greek-speaking Jews who took on the customs of the Greeks. Those would be the Israelite foreigners, the Gentiles. Now, this is Romans 13 and 13 through 14. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting. That's the same Strong's for the word reveling in the Bible. Not in rioting and drunkenness. Yeah, the god of wine, Bacchus, infertility as well. If you go to the Thracian king, whatever call him Dionysus, right? And not in chambering and wantonness. Damn, like over there, yada, yada, yada. But you had a freaking ORGY. Not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord YAHAWASHI Mashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lusts thereof. The lusts thereof. Matter of fact, since I had mentioned that, yeah, let me go here. I'm going to close out with this one. Oh, man. Spirit reminded me of this one. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. To follow the will of the Gentiles, which made us Gentiles. When we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, Bacchus spirit, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. See? Idolatry, I'm going to close out. Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. So with that being said, pray out, edify and fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent, Kwame Allah, Mufflababal, Shalom.